United Airlines, get this, they found loose bolts and other installation issues on multiple 737 MAX 9 aircraft.
The Boeing model that's been grounded after a panel blew off on an Alaska Airlines operated plane mid-flight over weekend is on your screen right now. So that was people that were on this aeroplane and basically the window blew out.
Incredible.
Can you think of anything more terrifying? Now, joining us now is our security editor, Mark White. Mark, just explain, if we completely understood this correctly, this is aeroplanes with bits that are just not tight enough.
Yeah, this is the stuff of nightmares. A real concern about this for anyone that flies, and it's particular issues around the MAX 9, which is a variation of the 737 souped-up MAX aircraft that's had its troubles in the past. The MAX 8 fleet suffered two disastrous crashes back in 2019, unrelated to this, we should say, engine-related issues. It cost more than 350 lives at that time. This relates to what are called door plugs. Sounds a bit of a strange concept, but effectively it's a hole in the fuselage that's plugged by another piece of fuselage that's bolted in. And it's there, it allows the airline, depending on the configuration of the aircraft, if they're carrying more passengers, they have to have more emergency exits. So they put emergency exits in there. If they've not got more passengers in the configuration they have, they don't need to put the exits in, they leave these plugs in. But if they're not bolted in properly or there's some kind of defect with that, then clearly it seems that there's a potential for these door plugs to blow out at altitude. Now, this aircraft was taking off from Portland in Oregon on Friday. It had got to 16,000 feet, so it was in that sort of depressurised atmosphere out there that when the door blew, it blew out with force. There was a kid in one of the seats there. Luckily, as it was still heading up to cruising altitude, everybody was strapped in. But some of the child's clothing was blown off the child. Luckily, the mother held on to the child, so the child wasn't sucked out of the aircraft.
Terrifying.
But some real concern there. Now, subsequent to that, the Federal Aviation Administration has ordered the grounding of around about 170 of these MAX 9 aircraft as initial inspections are carried out. And these initial inspections, very worryingly, alarmingly, have shown that there are loose bolts in this door plug section that are being reported on multiple aircraft by United Airlines and also by Alaska Airlines as well. They've found some issues around the door plugs as well.
I mean,
sorry, I was just going to say, the National Transportation Safety Board have been giving a news conference within the last few hours, and this is what they've said about that ongoing investigation.
We are aware of the reports that are coming back from the inspections from United and Alaska and Boeing. Our team is collecting that information, and there will be some follow-up from the inspections. But right now, we're focused on this one, but we can go broader at any time. We don't have to finish the investigation to issue an urgent safety recommendation. We can do that anytime, and we have done that for entire fleets before.
Well, these investigators have been aided by the fact that they have found this component, this door plug. It was found in a back garden in some trees. Let's listen to the gentleman who found it.
It just came down as a single unit and was lying in my backyard. So it was kind of caught in the trees at the time. They pulled it out and laid it out on the grass. And even though it was raining this morning, they were up close and shining their lights on it and taking pictures and starting to try to figure out what had happened to cause that.
I don't know, say this. I'm sorry, this is terrifying.
Yeah, it is of concern because door plugs are not unique to the MAX 9 fleet.
Right.
So it does, bring up concerns about could this be an issue going forward.
But does it mean that routine checks haven't been done, that this is happening now?
Well, it might mean that actually the initial assembling of the aircraft, when the airline says to the manufacturer, we want it in this configuration, that in putting these door plugs in, either there's issues with the bolts, they haven't been properly tightened, there's a design fault perhaps where vibration is loosening. We don't know as yet. That will all form part of the ongoing investigation, but it's a real concern, clearly.
Certainly.
Won't be asking for a window seat anymore, I can tell you that after that. Thank you, Mark.